Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Jackson and I work at Acklam Whinn Primary School in Middlesbrough. I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes chatting to you about our experience with Beat the Street. We first heard of Beat the Street through social media. We saw it on Twitter and it looked like something that suited our school perfectly. We have a strong PE culture running throughout our school, and Beat the Street looked like a perfect way to get all of our students, our pupils, our families and our staff active. So, how did we get started and how did we set up Beat the Street in Acklam Whinn Primary School? Around 10 days before, we started with a bit of a promotion drive on our social media platforms as well as in our school app, just to let our families and our children know what the game was about. And then 4 days beforehand, Lauren came in, who was our Middlesbrough Beat the Street organiser, to do assemblies in school with both Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 to get our children fully aware of what is going on. Lauren talked about how to play the game, the health and safety aspects of it. 3 days before, we sent another message out on our school app, again on social media, promoting the game. So by now, all of our school community were aware of what Beat the Street was. 2 days beforehand, we sent out all of the packs, including the cards and the chips, to give our families at least 48 hours to set up their cards. So when the first day of Beat the Street arrived in Middlesbrough, all of the chips and the cards were ready to go. During the first week of Beat the Street, we took every child from reception to year 6 out and about in our local area to play the game. The children went out with their chips and they were allowed to tap into the beat boxes. We felt this was a great way to get our children involved in the game so they all knew exactly how to play. Also, if they didn't have the opportunity to play at home or they lived outside of the catchment area, again, this is something we thought about, and if we did it in school time, all the children got the chance to play. We also repeated this in the last week, so we made it perfectly clear at the start to the children that they would be playing Beat the Street in the first week and the last week as part of the school day. We got a lot of positive comments when we were out and about in the community. Obviously, we're just coming out of lockdown. Lots of the community were delighted to see the school out and about. Again, keeping active. We also had lunchtime clubs where some of our children, alongside staff, went out and about again in our local area, taking their cards with them, tapping into all the local beat boxes. We had a whole school community walk towards the end of Beat the Street as well. Again, we promoted that on social media. We invited all of our pupils, our families, staff, onto the school site. We met at 3:30 on one of our playgrounds. And then alongside the staff, our families joined us in a whole school community walk, which lasted around about 45 minutes. The engagement we got from that was amazing. We had over 250 people on the walk, including pupils. And luckily at the time, we were able to invite our families back into our school. It was kind of a reopening event for us after everything we've been through the last 18 months. And the engagement we got from parents was really, really positive. They loved being back in the school, and also it was nice to see staff in a more relaxed environment, not in the classrooms, and that was something which was great to see. There were so many benefits for our school that we saw whilst taking part in Beat the Street. It brought everyone together. It was something that our whole school community could get involved in. Like you keep saying, staff, pupils, our school community, our families could all take part in the game, and it was something we all had in common. So whether that be a pick-up time, the parents and carers were chatting to staff about Beat the Street. There's a real whole school engagement. We also had a huge increase in our active travel to school. Every day the children were wanting to cycle, to walk, to scooter to school so they could tap into the beat boxes as they came into school. Obviously the active travel increase then led to a physical activity increase as well. Children were really looking forward to going out on a night, tapping into the beat boxes, trying to increase their scores as much as they could. We saw numerous benefits to taking part in Beat the Street. It brought our whole school community together. It was something we all had in common. We all wanted to take part in the game. It was something that we could all play together, whether that be grandparents, aunties, uncles, pupils, staff. Everyone could get involved in this game. It's really inclusive. So on an evening where the children were being picked up after school, it's all the children wanted to talk about with whoever came to pick them up, and staff could easily engage with that as well. It was a really relaxed environment talking about Beat the Street, and like I keep saying, it's something we all had in common, and it's just so easy to do. We noticed a big physical activity increase in our pupils. They were wanting to go out after school, whether that be on their bikes, scooters, walking. They wanted to go out, tap into as many beatboxes as they can, and they were doing that on the weekends as well when they were going to the parks. It was just really fantastic to see. We noticed our active travel numbers increased as well. Children wanted to scoot, bike to school so they could get more beatboxes on the way in rather than going in cars where they're obviously going to miss the opportunity to tap into those beatboxes. We also developed a nice friendly rivalry with a school close by, and that was really good. Again, we had some engagements on Twitter with that, and it turned into a real friendly rivalry. And again, once we were all out in the community, if somebody saw someone tapping into beatboxes, again, they could chat, say what school they were from and how well we were doing, and that was something which we really enjoyed. My top tips for Beat the Street would be make sure the packs and the cards are sent out at least 48 hours before you start the game, and that allows children to play straight away. Obviously, if they're waiting to receive the packs, they might lose a bit of interest, and it's easy to fall behind on the table. Obviously, winning isn't everything, but I know, speaking from experience, the children in our school wanted to try and be top of the leaderboard for as long as they could. Another tip would be have some spare cards in the office. We had a lot of families come in asking for spare cards for grandparents, for aunties, for uncles. Also, if the children lose one of their chips, then just pop to the office and you can get a spare card. Again, it just saves the children or our families having to go to the local libraries or pick up points. Having them in school just makes it so much easier. Another tip would be for the children to attach their chips to their zips on their coats. So if they were to bring them into school, they don't get lost. The first couple of days we had several chips lost in school. However, once we suggested that they attach them to their zips on their coats, this stopped happening. Have a real big push on social media. We, again, on our Twitter and Facebook, we had so many engagements with our parents on there, saying how much they enjoying the game, and that the children were sending us, our families were sending us photos of their children out and about, tapping into beatboxes. And again, it's just something which is so simple that you can get your whole school community involved. I would also suggest that you send out the rules on the app just so parents are aware that they should only be using one card at a time, exactly the same with the children as well. But overall, Beat the Street was a fantastic experience for our school, and I can't recommend it enough to all the schools who have the opportunity to take part this time. It's such an easy way to engage your whole school community in physical activity. If you'd like to ask me any questions about our experience, I'm sure my email address will be just posted after this. If not, it's awmjackson@acklamwhinn.co.uk, or you can find us on Twitter @Acklam Whinn, or on Facebook, search Acklam Whinn. Thank you.